Today is Wednesday, October 30th, and I do have a favor to ask of my regular followers that I will add at the end of the video. If you've learned something from me and would like to return a favor to me, I will explain that more at the end of the video. But today's agricultural fact of the day pertains to an article that Ag Daily published on October 18th of this year, and it has to do with some large-scale chicken production. Today's agricultural fact: Prairie Poultry has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, leaving behind not only unpaid employees, but also 1.3 million broiler chickens across 14 Iowa farms and even more across other Midwestern states. This company received $45.6 million that the USDA invested through a food supply chain guaranteed loan program to help Pure Prairie Farms, Inc. in 2022. I shared this article on another social media platform, and many people were unaware of this. And I went to nationals last week, and I even asked a lot of the poultry producers out there. There were large-scale poultry. Cobb usually has one, Purdue. I can't remember. There was another poultry association. I said, well, what did you think about what happened to Pure Prairie Farms in Iowa and those Midwestern states with those meat chickens? And they had no idea what I was talking about. And these are people within the poultry industry. Like, these are representatives within the poultry industry, and they had not even heard about this. If it's a competitor to their company, maybe they didn't know. But when we're talking about 1.3 million broiler chickens that will not enter the food supply chain, that's a problem. So in my classes that we do these ag facts of the day with, typically we will also watch Super Size Me 2 Holy Chicken, which is where Morgan Spurlock goes through and analyzes the large-scale poultry production systems and how those operate and how the farmers contract with the companies, and the farmers don't actually ever own those chickens. Now, I don't know, because when I talk about those large companies, you're looking at Tyson, Purdue. I'm pretty sure Prairie Farms is probably a similar type of operation. The farmer takes out a massive loan to build a barn to these large companies' specs, and then that company contracts with the farmer, gives them chicks, gives them feed, and then will pay them for X amount of growth rate. So Super Size Me 2 really goes through and talks about how the payment scale works. And it's not about how good you raise your chickens. There are a lot of other things that they take into calculation when it comes to how much am I paid for producing this product. Anyway, so this article basically said that they have run out of feed and they don't have anyone to process these birds. So this was a couple of weeks ago, so I'm guessing it has probably been solved or rectified by this point in time. One part of this article stated, in Wisconsin, poultry farmers are scrambling to find solutions. A contract farmer shared his frustrations with reporters, stating, currently we have roughly 60 to 62,000 birds with no feed. We've called everybody and we don't know what to do. The next line of this article says, a business failed, and the result is that it's affected farmers and businesses here in the state, and it's also affected the humane care of those animals. What happens to the guaranteed loan program money, the $45.6 million that the USDA is not going to see paid back? And again, I don't know if this article has been updated since it's been published, and I don't have time to look up another article to see how it has progressed, but if you know, you can comment or stitch or whatever a response to this. In Iowa, officials have stepped in to feed the affected birds. In Minnesota, steps have been taken to unalive them. And when I say unalive, like, they put it as euthanize. So I don't think that those birds actually entered the food supply chain. It also looks like the employees that worked in that processing plant has not been paid since the plant's closure on October 2nd. So it appears, according to this article, that those workers are still owed a paycheck. And basically, they're hoping that this publicizing of the event will help kick it into motion, give us our last paycheck, and we will leave you alone. And it looks like on Facebook, Pips and Chicks, which I don't know if this was the farmer or somebody that was helping the farmer rehome the chicks that they had, the broilers that they couldn't feed and that they didn't have processing for. All birds are gone. This was on October 16th, update PM. All birds are gone. There are no words that can properly put the sheer magnitude of everything. From 150,000 to 175,000 broilers to none. Thank you to everyone that liked, shared, commented, picked up birds, got the word out, and helped. You are truly making the farming community that everyone is proud to be a part of. So it looks like some of them were successfully rehomed. But I wanted to do this as the ag fact because this happened a couple of weeks ago. And if you had not heard about it, really, please comment, because I'm curious how far the reach was of this. If it was just statewide that they publicized it. I happened to find it because I had Ag Daily alerts turned on my smartboard. I saw it pop up. I saw the article pop up when it was published, and I clicked on it because I was like, wow, that sounds really interesting. I want to learn more about it. And then this entire article, I couldn't believe it. And I've not seen anybody else publicize about it or say anything about it. So please comment if you learned something new today. Large-scale agriculture, although it is efficient, sometimes in instances like this, may not always be the best option. There still are things that just need to be figured out, and I pray that this doesn't happen in another area of production. Now, to the followers that would like to help me, there is this award called the Golden Owl Award, and I would really like to win that award for New York State. So there is an application, a link that you can fill out in order to recommend me, and the top winner in the state receives a $3,000 check. So if you want to recommend me, comment and I'll send you the link.